thing that's going to matter most is confidence. What's shaking markets right now is people feel that there's going to be this long-term damage and the economy is just going into the ground. And to some extent, this can become a self-fulfilling prophecy.
There is almost certainly going to be a recession no matter what happens from this point forward. If the recession is relatively short and most businesses get over the hump, then we'll look back on this as an important learning experience. If the virus lasts longer, is more severe than we thought, then it's really almost your worst nightmares.
Keep in mind that COVID-19 is a public health crisis and not a market crisis. So one other big challenge is that the typical market responses, maybe from the Fed and what we see other central banks doing, will be difficult in terms of mitigating or resolving this crisis.
"50 years ago, we wouldn't have known what was going on. We wouldn't have been able to track it in real time the way we do."
When we've had other pandemics, the impact on everyday people hasn't been what we've seen so far as we think about COVID-19.
The good news is that we're medically much more sophisticated. We got a lot better technology than we had in the Spanish flu epidemic, and that's great. The bad news is that there's a lot more of us right now, and the even worse news is we travel a whole lot more.
Cruise lines, aircraft, travel in general. So anything that's going to be consumer facing is going to have a tough time until this lifts.
In both the short run and the at least medium term, let's say the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to see a big hit in energy in the oil sector.
There's some other industries that I think we should worry about, and these are the industries that are dependent upon that global supply chain. I wouldn't be surprised, you see a washing machine factory shut down. Well, why would a washing machine factory be influenced by a pandemic? The reason is because the supply chain's broken.
I think healthcare is going to benefit. I think this is going to be another leg up for retail companies that don't require stores. So all of the online companies. This is just going to reinforce people's tendency to cocoon, and anything that helps them do that is going to benefit.
When you think about some of the technology companies that are have systems or applications that help people connect, I think those sectors are poised to do well.
People are going to be at home practicing social distancing, and so they're going to rely on new online services that maybe they weren't using before, and habits tend to be very sticky, so the habits that are cultivated now during the crisis could prove quite enduring.
It's going to be very difficult, and I think when you talk about governmental programs to help people, that's got to be one of the key areas, because there are surveys out there that show many people can't afford to pay an unexpected $400 expense. Well, if you're expected to self-quarantine for 2 weeks, that's more than $400.
A bunch of those people are going to simply lose income, and these are going to be the people who are least able to accept or afford a drop in income.
I think it will be a lot of reliance and pressure on government, city, state, local, and federal to do more to support individuals in the gig economy to make sure that they can continue to earn what they need to survive for their families.